Welcome to Smash Fiction, where we pit two or more fictional characters against one another in a battle of strength, or wits, or intense facial expressions, and argue who would win. This week, Speed Racer versus Ghost Rider versus Vanellope von Schweetz versus Mad Max. Because in the not-too-distant future, wars will no longer exist, but there will be Mario Kart. It is the year 2018, and the global corporate state that now dominates the planet has kept its populace placated for years via the brutal sport of rollerball. However, after rollerball superstar Jonathan E. took down his former sponsor, Energy Corporation, the people began to grow restless for other forms of entertainment. Into the gap stepped Mario Corporation, a mysterious Japanese conglomerate that used its unspeakably advanced 2018 technology to import the greatest racers in the multiverse for a new public spectacle, Mario Kart. The point-for-point life-size realization of history's most popular racing game became an immediate sensation, but it didn't take very long for four individuals to stand out from the pack. The ambitious and professionally skilled Speed Racer, the former motorcycle.
The former speedy bike stunt.
The former motorcycle daredevil. The former motorcycle daredevil and current fiery nightmare monster Johnny Blaze, aka Ghost Rider, the racing prodigy princess Vanellope von Schweetz, and the battle-scarred open-road survivalist Mad Max Rockatansky.
Oh my god, he's so cool!
As the dominance of the four drivers continues, Mario Corporation decides there's only one way to give the people what they want: a race to the finish between the best of the best on the Rainbow Road.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Which Rainbow Road? N64 or?
I don't know, the Rainbow Road, man.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Yeah.
The competitors do not have their personalized vehicles like the Mach 5 or the Pursuit Special, as they must race in Mario Kart. As such, they have access to all the various attacks and power-ups of Mario Karts, along with any attributes or abilities inherent to their person. They've also been engaged in various heated rivalries with one another along the path to stardom. Speed Racer disdains Mad Max for his inexperience in professional automobile-related contests. Vanellope won't stop asking Speed Racer about the strange noises that come out of his mouth every time he finishes a sentence. Ghost Rider finds Vanellope's constant glitching and cheerful attitude deeply disturbing somewhere in his charred husk of a soul. And Max is pretty sure Ghost Rider was part of the motorcycle gang that killed his wife and child in the post-apocalyptic Outback.
Oh,
Or maybe just a hallucination.
I hate him so much. What an
Each
asshole.
considers anything less than first place unacceptable. The Rainbow Road glitters, the checkered flag falls, and they're off! Who will reach the finish line first and become the biggest corporate racing celebrity of them all? I don't know. That's why I, Miles Schneiderman, am your judge this week. This is fun. This is going to be our first ever four-way special where everybody's just taking one specific character. Arguing for Speed Racer is Kit Mulcairn.
Speed Racer will win this race today because Speed Racer is the greatest racer of all time, or at least of all fictional time. Oh.
Wow.
Outstanding.
Arguing for Ghost Rider is Dan Mulcairn.
Bad news, guys. You're on a highway to hell.
Arguing for Vanellope von Schweetz is Colin Mulcairn.
I'm adorable, I'm a winner, and everyone loves an adorable winner.
And arguing for Mad Max will be Liz Logan.
My name is Max. My world is fire and blood.
The order in which I introduce the characters will be the order in which they speak. So we will start with Speed Racer, go to Ghost Rider, to Vanellope, and then to Mad Max. So, with that in mind, go Speed Racer, go.
Here he comes. Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels. He's a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone. Sure, he's not a literal demon like some of the racing noobs that are here today, but in Mario Kart, various supernatural abilities won't get you very far. Everyone is in the same indestructible vehicles with only a certain set of items available to them. In Mario Kart, You earn that trophy by knowing the strengths and weaknesses of yourself, your vehicle, and the courses, as well as knowing how to best use and improvise with the weapons you are given. Speed Racer is a young man, barely old enough to be legally driving by Japanese law, with a passion and preternatural ability for one of the most deadly sports. In Grand Prix racing, for example, the death rate is 1 in 100. Those are the odds Speed looks at whenever he goes out on that track, and he's not essentially immortal like Vanellope. He knows if he fucks up, he's out of the game permanently. He's skilled enough to drive at ridiculous speeds without getting his ass killed, and still makes it to the finish line first. Since Mario Kart is a game where character death can't happen, Speed doesn't even have to worry about his mortality. Nothing to hold him back now. As for what Mario Kart offers, Speed Racer is no stranger to weird vehicle weaponry, and his experience with the crazy awesome Mach 5 will have prepared him for the vehicles and racetracks of this game. Using the A button on the steering wheel of the Mach 5, Speed can activate the auto jacks, which he regularly uses to jump over obstacles or as an alternative form of braking. This is similar enough to the way Mario Kart vehicles can jump that I believe Speed would be able to use this quite handily in only the way a Mario Kart veteran could, like getting a good drift to keep from sliding off edges in goddamn Rainbow Road. The Mach 5's button E was eventually modified to create mini wings to help Speed get over long jumps. Sounds pretty similar to the long jumps in Mario Kart, where the vehicles deploy all manner of aerial devices to help get over large gaps in the road. Speed has the edge here because he's practiced preparing his car for a long jump and knows what to do once the vehicle's in the air. And finally, guess what? Speed is used to driving underwater too. The Mach's button F is for activating Frogger mode, which allows the car to go underwater. Stages in which the road dips below the water regularly wouldn't make for much of a challenge to this racing veteran. When the odds are against him and there's dangerous work to do, you bet your life Speed Racer will see it through.
All right, well done. Ghost Rider, tell us your sins.
I think I just might. So, today's contestants fall into two categories. Speed Racer and Vanellope both come from settings somewhat reminiscent of Mario Kart, where mayhem and colorful pranks are the norm. While they will be used to the sorts of tasks and challenges that will be required of them, they will also behave complacently and predictably, looking for the most obvious routes. In short, they won't be inclined to think outside the box. Max and Ghost Rider, on the other hand, will be coming at the challenges from a very different angle. Their worlds are rougher and darker, and have forged in both of them a killer instinct that Speed Racer and Vanellope lack. The difference between Max and Ghost Rider is that Max will be struggling to fight against an alien world that doesn't make sense to him, while Ghost Rider will be able to cut through the track with baffling ease. As a stunt motorcyclist, Ghost Rider is very equipped to deal with the constantly changing and often dangerous environments and tracks of Mario Kart. Even before he became Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze successfully set a world record by jumping over 22 cars on his bike, but his supernatural powers make him even more potent. See, Ghost Rider isn't limited by whatever vehicle he's riding. He can draw on his demonic powers regardless. His bike is many times faster than a normal motorcycle and can ride across the surface of water and drive up and along walls. His reflexes and senses are definitively superhuman, meaning he can notice and react to changes in his immediate environment instantly, while his opponents lag behind trying to deal with hazards. But being a superior racer is only one aspect of what will fuel Ghost Rider's victory today. His body is actually made of hellfire, making him basically immune to any form of damage. He's taken blows from the Hulk, had his skull destroyed, fallen from incredible heights, suffered incredible impacts and temperatures, and been fine. I don't care what color shell you manage to get your hands on, it's not going to do anything to Ghost Rider. Furthermore, Ghost Rider and
I
his
think a blue shell will.
It will not.
You can't stop a blue shell.
If the blue shell was forged in heaven, maybe, but it's just not going to work.
I think it was.
Are they not?
I think, yeah.
Furthermore, Ghost Rider and his vehicle are both surrounded by hellfire. Any projectile, whether it's a shell or a banana peel, is going to be incinerated before it gets close, and any rider that tries to knock him off the road will be subjected to those same flames and end up hurting themselves far more than they were hoping to hurt Ghost Rider. He also has a mystical chain that can grow to crazy lengths, cut through almost anything, and transform into other weapons, including a shotgun that shoots hellfire. Just cuz! He can also summon and project huge masses of chains at will, useful for attacking other riders, setting up traps, or accessing distant parts of a track, greatly increasing his ability to jump ahead in the race. Let's see how the other riders do driving through the lava-filled Bowser's castle. Ghost Rider can just ride across the lava itself, ditto for lakes in Toad Harbor, loose sand in the bone-dry dunes, or through walls in any level. In a possible future of the Marvel Universe, the Ghost Rider of that time period is seen being able to fly through space. I'd say that's a pretty easy way to avoid the natural annoyances of Rainbow Road. The shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line, and that's the route Jonathan Blaze will be taking, while the other contestants are winding their way around Goombas and impractically curvy roads. In short, Vanellope, Max, and Speed will barely be halfway through their first lap when Ghost Rider finishes cutting through the racetrack like a flaming chainsaw through butter.
Excellent work, Ghost Rider. All right, Vanellope von Schweetz. I didn't have anything for that. Is there a better thing?
You know, with those 2 ones you gave, the other ones I was really excited. I was like, what's mine going to be?
I know. I didn't have a good one. Whatever, just go.
All right. If this is a discussion about who is the greatest racer of all time, then we have to look at who, among the 4 contestants assembled, is a racer at their core. Ghost Rider is a stunt motorcyclist who became a superhero. I'm sure that his driving ability is greater than that of most other superheroes, but all that crime fighting has probably distracted him from keeping up with his training. His lap times probably aren't what they once were back when saving the world wasn't his primary obligation. And his awesome superpowers, you know, he can generate fire, but you know who else can generate fire? Bowser, and it does not seem to help him out that much. He sucks in all of the Mario games. And not to mention, Ghost Rider's vehicle of choice is a motorcycle. Although his powers will work from one vehicle to the next, he still won't be as comfortable driving the vehicle. Mad Max is a cop who became a road warrior. He was the main Force Patrol's top pursuit man, but that law enforcement agency seemed pretty incompetent to me. When we see the other members of the main Force Patrol, it doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence. They aren't exactly some crack squad of, you know, expert drivers. They're angry, they bicker with each other and fight each other constantly, and their town is totally lawless. Oh yeah, and then Max's family got killed, spoiler alert, and he goes insane, so that one thing he had going for him is gone too. And in the years since he lost his mind, I'm sure he's had bigger problems to worry about than racing, so his skills probably also aren't what they used to be. Oh, and his vehicle of choice is his V8 Interceptor. Speed Racer, I'll admit, is also a professional racer, the only other one assembled here, and he's a really damn good one. He's used to driving a totally different class of car, but you know, at least he self-identifies as a racer. He comes from a long line of racers. Racing is in his family, it's in his blood. But you know what? For Vanellope, racing's even deeper inside her. It's in her code. When her memories are totally wiped and she doesn't know anything else about herself, all that remains is her need to race and her need to win. Her abilities are totally non-existent at the start of the film. They have been wiped away from her, but her need to race is so strong that in one night, she builds a kart and goes from having no idea how to drive it to being the best racer in Sugar Rush. She defeats all the other racers, including, spoiler alert, Turbo, who is referred to as the greatest racer of all time after not knowing how to drive the day before. Also, unlike anyone else in the race, Vanellope's vehicle of choice is a kart. She might even be able to bring in her own kart from Sugar Rush and race it in Mario Kart unmodified. She's used to giant jumps, hitting yellow arrows to speed up, and grabbing rainbow-colored boxes to get weapons. There are going to be new weapons for her to learn, but from what I've seen, red shells don't seem to be too terribly different from Sweet Seekers. For Vanellope, the question is not can she win this race, but how many times will she be able to lap the competition?
All right. Mad Max. Who ruled Mario Kart?
All right.
Oh boy.
No. I'm just fucking with you guys. Okay. A skilled shot. A Thunderdome victor. A defeater of enemies like a Morton Joe, Toe Cutter, and Lord Humongous. A man whose relationship with vehicles and driving could make anybody blush is Mad Max Rockatansky. If that doesn't sound like a competitor in a video game who would win in a Mario Kart race, I don't know what does. To all the other competitors in this fine little race we're having, don't worry about the winded bananas hitting your face. Mad Max will be passing you so fast you won't even have time to react and you'll just have to deal with the mess. Mad Max demonstrates amazing shooting, aiming, climbing, and throwing skills. Did I say yes, climbing. I have a point for that. While driving. He is able to not only shoot accurately from his vehicle, he can even jump off of his vehicle onto another person's vehicle, disable that vehicle, and then jump right back onto his vehicle. He's constantly able to keep up with other drivers or leave them in the dust of his dystopian future. And you know, I believe the advocate for Ghost Rider said Mad Max would not be used to racing in an alien world. Mad Max used to live in regular modern times, and then everything went to shit when the water ran out, and I would classify the post-apocalyptic world that he lives in pretty darn alien now. In the 2015 Mad Max video game, part of the goal in the video game is you go into races and you race against other people to either progress the story or win prizes. So he has experience in races. He was a former police officer, so he has training in pursuit and driving tactics and has extensive firearms and weapons training. He has also demonstrated the ability to dodge and navigate extremely difficult courses where people were shooting to kill him, not just trying to disable or slow him down like these other racers have experienced. I mean, what's Ghost Rider got to worry about? No one's going to kill him.
That's right.
Plus, Mario Kart's difficulties, what? They range from 50 cubic centimeters to 200 cc? I mean, please. Max Rockatansky can handle a 351 cubic inch V8. He'll be pushing those karts to their absolute limit of their performance with his experience. And plus, talking about Ghost Rider, he's already dealt with some crazy flaming head motorcyclists like Toe Cutter in Mad Max and Mad Max 2. He scared the shit out of them. Who cares? I mean, Mad Max even used a wagon drawn by camels to his advantage. I'm sure he'll be able to tweak that go-kart just to perfect and beat everyone. The bottom line is, Mad Max is a survivor. He is used to using everything in his surroundings that he could get his grubby little hands on, turning it into the most amazing friggin' vehicle, no matter what it is, and being able to accomplish pretty much almost anything. He's shown tremendous determination when seriously injured, even after being used as a human blood bag in Fury Road when he's a blood bag for the war boy Nux. He's shown to be able to do on-the-fly repairs, so I'm assuming he gets hit with the shell, oh, whatever. He'll rock out of it real quick and just keep going on. Speaking of Mario Kart weapons and stuff, I have a list of weapons that Mad Max would be amazing with. He has shown a skill with explosives, so the bombs would work for him well. He even booby-trapped his own vehicle and took out a bunch of enemies in Mad Max 2. You could even compare that to having the revolving green shells around him as a shield. Someone crashes into him, well, you blow up too. The Bullet Bill would be a great choice for Max 2 since he regularly rams into other vehicles while simultaneously outpacing them. Plus, if Fury Road taught Max anything, having a super horn from Mario Kart would be a great addition to his vehicle, since the Doof Warrior was so fucking awesome and a sonic wave of metal around his vehicle would scare any racer away from him.
Yeah!
And
Metal!
that thing would cancel out those pesky blue shells. And also...
Does Bullet Bill come from the Bullet Farm? Is that the thing?
From Bullet Town?
Anyway.
Well, if it came from the Bullet Farm, Mad Max would be the farmer and he'd be farming bullets.
I think Bullet Bill was a character in one of the Mad Max movies, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, everyone's saying, oh, Mad Max doesn't have racing experience. Oh, yes, he does. And these races are for his life. And he wins these races. He's still alive. Also, another good thing. I have never seen these other competitors like throw things from their vehicles. Where like a red shell, it shows your character throwing a red shell. Yeah, well, Mad Max has experience in that. Do you guys have experience in that? No, you don't. I'm done.
All right.
Crikey.
Excellent job, Mad Max. So let's get into some rebuttals. In the interest of time, because we have 4 different characters going on here, I'm going to warn you guys when you hit 2 minutes for rebuttal, and then I'm going to ask you to wrap it up in the next couple of sentences. Sound good?
That's very fair.
All right. So Speed Racer, go ahead.
Colin, you tried to argue that Vanellope has the advantage because she's an actual racing video game character. Well, it's true, but the video game controlled characters don't always win. Sure, they can be hard to beat, but if they were impossible to beat, no one would bother playing racing games. I have a few for Mr. Dan over here. You argue that Ghost Rider's motorcycle can go faster than conventional ones. I call shenanigans. We're arguing driving skill without vehicle modification. If Ghost Rider can mystically enhance his vehicle, Speed Racer can add some sweet-ass Mach 5 parts to his own, okay?
Well, listen, all I'm saying there is Ghost Rider's current incarnation rides around on a bike made out of hellfire that he summons for himself, but in his earlier years, Johnny Blaze would use his powers to transform his bike into the Ghost Rider bike. So there's no reason to think that Ghost Rider couldn't imbue his vehicle here with the same abilities that his bike has.
All right, we're cutting that bit out of your rebuttal time. Just saying.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
man.
Cold.
Also, stunt cycling isn't about getting to the finish line first. It's about knowing the stunt you're going to be doing ahead of time, getting good at it, and then not dying when you perform that stunt again in front of an audience. It's not really about racing necessarily, like getting there first. Also, you might be able to incinerate some of the weapons that like come your way, but that hellfire is not going to stop a lightning bolt. And if it doesn't make Ghost Rider all cute and tiny, it's gonna make his bike cute and tiny, leaving Ghost Rider to balance awkwardly on his slow motorcycle.
Oh, did I mention that Ghost Rider can change his size?
Now you're just making stuff up.
That is God's honest truth.
No,
He can grow.
Wait until your rebuttal, Dan.
But see, your adorable little cycle's gonna be tiny. So have fun at the finish line putt-putting. All right, I'm done. I don't need the full 2 minutes. That's it. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Dan.
Okay, I'm going to try to touch on everyone as quickly as I can. First of all, so with Max has spent so many years in the post-apocalyptic outback. I'm pretty sure he'll have a seizure the first time he encounters a color that isn't brown. And Rainbow Road is going to really mess this dude up. The other thing is that, Liz, you talk a lot about how badass Max is. Last time I saw Max, he was fighting an obese albino. Whereas the last Ghost Rider comic I read, and this is true, he tore out Lucifer's heart with his bare hands. Like, if you're talking killer instinct and badassness, there's no comparison between those two.
I'm glad this isn't a Lucifer tearing out Lucifer's heart competition. God.
That's next episode.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Sweet burn.
If only. So, Speed Racer. Speed is a natural hothead, and his hotheadedness writes checks that his abilities just can't cash. So, in Challenge of the Master Racer, Speed jumps into a race with Racer X at night during a storm, when Racer X himself has no interest in doing so. During their race, Racer X is clearly not trying to win, but he still manages to easily keep up with Speed, who drives like an absolute putz just because it's raining. So I don't know how Speed's going to handle tracks like Cloud Top Cruise, where you literally have to drive into a storm. And also during that same race, he was running into the fence along the side of the highway quite a bit, which there is none of in Rainbow Road. He's going to spend a lot of time having Lakitu fishing pole him back onto that track.
If I can cut into your rebuttal.
That's horrifically rude.
If anyone else was driving at those speeds on a thunderstorming road, besides Speed Racer and his spoiler alert brother, Racer X.
It's not that much of a spoiler alert.
I know, but
his name was Rex Racer, and
I know.
the guy's name is Racer X.
Yeah, let's talk about Speed Racer's perception for a second.
Basically.
No, but go ahead.
All right. But if anyone else had done that besides those two, they would be fucking dead. So do not try and argue that.
They wouldn't, because no one else is that stupid.
Exactly. Part of being a racer is knowing when to quit and when to hit the brakes. Oh, also, the carts
Except
have
in Mario Kart. Never use the brake button in Mario Kart.
Yeah. You don't win Mario Kart by quitting and holding back.
So
you do it with guts, and Speed Racer has guts.
Let's let Dan finish.
One other point. The carts in Mario Kart have no trunks, so Spritle and Chim Chim will not be hiding in the back, ready with a slingshot to solve Speed Racer's problems for him.
That's what bananas are for.
In terms of Vanellope is still a little girl. She doesn't possess the same killer instinct that Ghost Rider, a freaking half-demon, has. And she'll probably freak out a little bit the first time she sees him. In addition, Vanellope only manages to learn to somewhat control her glitching ability by the end of Wreck-It Ralph, and it doesn't look like it's particularly easy for her to pull off. In most cases in the movie, her glitching is often seen as problematic, as when she momentarily loses focus and glitches into a stalactite of Mentos in the volcano. Besides, even in a best-case scenario for her, she can only glitch out for maybe a half second at most. Ghost Rider's powers are much more formidable and much more reliable. Vanellope's power isn't just a double...
I'm going to ask you to finish the sentence and then be done.
Wrapping up now. Vanellope's power isn't just a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword whose handle is also a double-edged sword. It just isn't a great power to have.
Vanellope, your rebuttal.
Okay. So yeah, I'm glad you brought up the glitching. I didn't have time to get around to that in my initial argument, but it's actually possibly one of Vanellope's greatest powers that I just didn't have time to, but now let's talk about that now. Vanellope's glitching starts off as a bit of a hindrance, but that's just because she's sort of afraid of it and doesn't really know how to embrace it. By the end of the movie, she is able to glitch very consistently and use it very well. She is pinned by Turbo and uses it to glitch herself and her cart up and out from being under his cart at the exact right moment. If she had done it at any different time, it wouldn't have worked out, but she knew how to do it at exactly the right moment. She also uses it to flee from the exploding Diet Cola mountain. She glitches into the air multiple times in a row and sort of chain jumps, like, Metroid-style space jumping, to basically fly. By the end of the movie, she can just glitch very, very well. And keep in mind, this was over one night after she decided, I'm not going to be afraid of my glitching ability and start trying to control it. You all talk about everyone's ability to adapt to Mario Kart and how everybody, they would have no trouble adapting. The thing is, all of you have to adapt because you're from different environments. Vanellope doesn't have to adapt. While all of you are trying to get used to this new sort of driving carts and, going over little glowing arrows, Vanellope will be beating all of you. And, Mad Max might be a killer and Ghost Rider might be a killer as well. And they might have crazy powers. but it doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to hit Vanellope. She can glitch her way away from any of the powers, and she's not going to even bother trying to fight them most of the time. She's just going to glitch right through all of them and head on to the end. You talked about her not being able to think outside of the box when you mentioned Ghost Rider being able to travel in a straight line and ignore the winding paths. Vanellope proves in Wreck-It Ralph that she's able to spot hidden shortcuts, like the one between the two crossed lollipops that leads into the unfinished bonus stage in the mountains of Sugar Rush. So she is able to notice shortcuts and use them to her advantage. And as far as Speed Racer goes, without his support crew around, as mentioned, Chim Chim in the back seat, I don't know how good he's going to be. I don't know if Trixie's going to be allowed to be flying her helicopter overhead.
Mad Max.
Okay, Speed Racer. Speed Racer's cars, like the Mach 5 and Mach 6, have all their defenses available to him at the press of a button inside the car. In Mario Kart, shells and other items show the character having to throw them and hit the enemy, even if some will technically hit automatically. Speed Racer has never demonstrated any throwing or shooting ability, and I anticipate those items will not be hitting their mark. And a lot of his success can just be attributed to his amazing cars. Here, he won't have access to them. Whereas Mad Max has shown that he can adapt and use nearly any vehicle, whether it be a car, whether it be a semi-truck, or any other sort of ridiculous vehicle he finds on the wasteland. He doesn't need fancy gadgets to fuck someone up with or win. Plus, Speed Racer doesn't have Racer X watching his back this time around, who frequently has to step in to save Speed Racer's life. Ghost Rider. Even though Ghost Rider is nearly indestructible, Mario Kart issue Go-Kart is still susceptible to Mario Kart weapons. Mad Max could easily dodge Ghost Rider's attacks, and Max has a lot of experience dealing with his so-called little fancy chains, and he even uses his own restraining chains in Fury Road as a weapon against enemies. Ghost Rider's early driving experience, as some others have touched on, didn't even involve racing. He was a stuntman who performed in relatively controlled environments where the only threat to your life was whether or not you practiced a jump well enough. He even lost in a stunt riding competition after he became Ghost Rider, when he lost to Flag Fargo. Ghost Rider may beat lots of superheroes and be strong, but he doesn't have any experience in an actual race. Vanellope. Just as she is the second most important character in Wreck-It Ralph, she will be the second best racer, if at all, in this Mario Kart race.
Ooh.
You know why? Vanellope is a glitch. And you know what gamers do with glitches? They report them to the developer, and the developer patches them out of the game and removes that fucking glitch! Goodbye, Vanellope. Consider this my official
I remember
Consider this my official petition to Mario Corporation to remove you from the competition because you're a dirty little cheater!
I remember a lot of other racers that were talking to Vanellope in a very similar fashion, and then she beat all of them.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's not this universe. Given that, she is going to have a hard time winning this competition. She'll be left in some old version of the game. No one wants to play with a cheater. Screw you, Vanellope.
I'm not a glitch. I just have Pixlexia.
Yay.
Oh my god.
Vanellope is careless, and she takes a lot of risks, even when advised to perform carefully. She may be determined, but her stubbornness will be easily exploited by someone like Mad Max, who has mostly a collected mindset that is focused on winning and ultimately surviving. Mad Max is a survivor. He will outlast all of you.
Well, I'll tell you what. People might not want to play with a cheater, but everybody always wants to play in the lightning round.
Yes.
Final lap.
The setting for this lightning round is going to be a setting that we haven't ventured into the lightning round of this podcast before, and that setting is the future.
Ooh. I mean, the whole match has been in the future so far, but
Mad Max has been to the future.
As in after the race. So, regardless of the outcome of the race, the success of the 4 contestants is short-lived. An incredibly efficient public transportation system is unveiled just a few days later, and contests centered around outmoded notions like personal vehicles begin to lose their luster. Mario Corporation files for bankruptcy, and Mario Kart becomes a thing of the past. Speed Racer, Ghost Rider, Vanellope, and Max are all forced to cut their losses and go into insurance. But their rivalries continue as each surreptitiously organizes their own competing ring of car thieves run out of chop shops. One day, each of the 4 is visited by a shady South American drug lord claiming to represent Shady South American Drug Corporation. He offers them a boatload of cash if they can steal 48 diverse and high-priced cars for him in 5 days. And as a bonus, if they succeed, the drug lord won't murder any of their friends or family. Which racer turned insurance investigator turned car thief can get the shady South American the cars he wants first?
Wow.
Gone in 60 seconds.
So, Liz, I believe we'll start with you on this one. Go backwards order. Snake this shit.
All right. Dude, Mad Max is so well equipped to do this. First of all, can we talk about how many vehicles Mad Max has stolen or commandeered, taken command of over the course of wherever? I mean, all this guy, he is a survivor. He will steal anything. He will learn how to make something work. I mean, this guy made a bomb out of a cigarette lighter lamp and a little bit of spilled fuel. Who says he can't hotwire a car real fast and drive it out? I mean, he knows when to go balls to the wall and wreck some people up and then steal their cars. He can be stealthy if he wants. I mean, he's just and done all sorts of stuff. And he probably has a super successful insurance company by now, too, since basically his whole life revolves around, scrap metal there. I'll take that. Oh, a part there. Now I'm going to fix up my car and it's going to be the best car in the whole fucking wasteland. Oh, perfect. Can you imagine if you had a guy like that repairing your car instead of, some asshole that wants you to charge you $800 for an air filter? Please. Mad Max would be great at this. And then he would have all that experience from working on cars. He would know where to find the cars. He would know how to steal the cars. He would know how to drive the cars. And plus, he wouldn't be scared of this stupid South American drug lord. Are you kidding me? I would be scared shitless if I came face to face with Mad Max. I'd be like, okay, dude, you can have the car. Okay. I mean, half the people he'd probably steal cars from would be like, here's the keys. He probably wouldn't even need to hotwire him. I mean, Mad Max is perfectly suited for this. His whole life revolves around going from one thing to the next, getting one car here, one car here. Like I said, the friggin' camel-drawn cart. I mean, you don't really need an ignition for that, but whatever. He can steal it all. He can drive any car. He can repair any car. He could hotwire any car. He could jerry-rig anything he needs to. He would totally steal those cars. And you know what? The drug lord would probably be like, oh, you have 25 cars for me. Please don't hurt me. I'll just take the 25. I'll leave now. Here's my business card. I don't know.
Colin.
All right. So Vanellope is first and foremost a racer, but she is second and second most a thief. In the time before she's a racer, she is seen as a ne'er-do-well in Sugar Rush who's going around committing all sorts of crimes. On the door to the factory where they make cars, there's a sign that says no glitches with a picture of her face, implying that she has been a notorious criminal throughout Sugar Rush for quite some time. In the events of Wreck-It Ralph, she breaks into the Cart Bakery and bakes a cart and rides away on it, being pursued by King Candy and all of his law enforcement agents. So she has proven that she is very capable of stealing cars and driving away in them. She also proves in her dealings with Ralph at the beginning that she is very agile and able to dodge around him and rapidly climb up candy cane trees, which would be probably similar to, climbing chain link fences and that sort of thing. And able to...
Except the chain link doesn't, randomly disappear for no reason.
So she has just proven over and over again that she is very resourceful, very good at causing mischief, and very good at stealing.
All right, Dan.
All right, so first of all, let me say that had this lightning round instead been which one becomes the best insurance salesman, I think the demon would probably be the best choice for that.
Dude, you must have been getting all excited when you were...
I know, I was.
Dude, for a moment, I thought, is this going to be Glengarry Glen Ross?
Oh, gosh.
What is this?
Hellfire is for closers. Anyway, in this case, the heroes are all out and out. Speed Racer still doesn't have the Mach 5. Vanellope still doesn't have her cart. Ghost Rider, however, as I mentioned earlier, can summon his motorcycle from anywhere and is instantly the most mobile person out of everyone here because not only can he move the fastest, but as I mentioned before, he can also ignore obstacles in ways that the others can't. He's also arguably the best fighter out of all of them. And if and when he runs into the others, he can easily destroy any car that they are attempting to steal.
I don't think the drug lord is going to appreciate a burned out car, just saying.
Well, that's your problem, isn't it? Because that's the car you're bringing to him. Ghost Rider, on the other hand, doesn't have to pick the locks on the cars because he can pick them up. Ghost Rider is strong enough to take on the Hulk hand to hand.
A trash car.
He could probably find one of those car transporters, those big semis that you see driving down the highway with 10 cars on them, and just pick one of those up and all of a sudden he's 10 cars ahead of everyone else. He's faster, he's stronger, and he also has a demonic killer instinct about him, which is awfully well suited to larceny and Grand Theft Auto.
If he stole the car, though, wouldn't his own powers activate and he'd have to, like, enact vengeance upon himself?
He's not spilling the blood of the innocent, sir. That is when the Ghost Rider's powers awaken.
He's spilling the oil of innocent cars.
I know. I'm worried about the cars. Like,
Yeah.
that sucks. Like, that drug lord's not going to be happy with you.
See, and that is why you are going to lose this match, because Ghost Rider doesn't concern himself with that.
Then he
Speed
will
Racer.
fail the task. Ba-dum-bum.
Kit?
All right, so this is I'm going to say quite Speed's bag, but if he needs to do it, he's going to do it. If you've seen even the first few damn episodes of this show, that kid is so spunky. He won't give a fuck if he's dealing with like assailants with guns. He'll jump, he'll tackle them. In the first freaking episode, he's jumping from motorcycle to motorcycle, fighting off these guys trying to get back a briefcase that they stole from his dad. He's going to steal those damn cars if he needs to, even if it means, losing the love of his father. His poor father, I don't know how he can take it. Anyway.
His poor father is being held captive by the drug lord, and if he doesn't do it, he's gonna kill him.
Oh,
no!
Can I also just say that the drug lord might just give in to Ghost Rider once Ghost Rider threatens to stare at him?
All right, you had your... Anyway. Speaking of his father, he is the son of not just a mechanic, a guy who makes and invents cars and puts them together. He knows enough about cars that he can easily steal cars. I believe that. And he's got the guts to do it. So he might not have fancy schmancy powers, but once he gets in that car, he can write it off real quick. Real quick.
Roll quick.
Real quick.
Cars be dropping.
All right. Well, unless anyone has anything else, I think that's a good time for me to step outside and make my deliberation. It's hard with 4 characters, man. You gotta take a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in play, a lot of moving parts, so to speak. So give me a few minutes. I'll be back, and y'all talk amongst yourselves.
That was really good. I really like this one, guys.
weekends.
I think this is a really good one.
This is
But-
really good.
I feel super unconfident after that last. I'm like, oh, great, car theft.
Oh, poor Speed Racer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Miles really pulled the rug out from underneath all of us on that last one.
It's just like,
I was
I
looking.
would have preferred Glenn Ross. I don't know.
The insurance
because
company
Speed
thing
Racer
would've
has
been
such great language skills.
Yeah, he'll talk you right out of your whatever.
I will say that-
fast.
Not insurance
I will say that I feel like Mad Max probably has the best grasp on the profanities that they drop in that movie. So
I mean, yeah. I really would have liked insurance sales. That would have been really funny, especially if we all worked in the same office and it'd be like,
oh gosh.
"You get the water.
I've
No,
had
you
some-
get the water.
I've had
I'll
some
get
desires.
the water."
I don't get the water. I'm a Speed Racer. You get the water.
But you'll be fastest, right? Right?
In a car, can I use my Mach 5 to get your water?
I've been thinking about how weird to do the lightning rounds. The one I was considering in Gandalf versus Dumbledore, the first thing that popped into my mind is all their powers go away and they have to have a knife fight.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, that's not fair.
CQC action.
Sorry.
But
Presumably while the crowd from the Beat It music video gathers
Yeah.
around them.
while their
Yeah.
wrists are tied together. So, I don't know. I don't know why that occurred to me, but when
A
I knew I was
dance
doing
knife
Gandalf
fight.
versus Dumbledore, knife fight came to mind. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
That is great.
It's tricky coming up with a good lightning round match. But Liz, I think the next time you're judge, I know what to prepare for. We're gonna Glenn Ross this.
God.
Or are you just gonna pick space every time?
Yeah, space.
Pay no attention to the broken Megazord floating out in orbit.
Aw.
Oh.
Yeah, it still hurts.
They started it. He was just eating.
Space racing.
Ugh.
Space old man knife fighting. The latest sensation in space.
I like your space accent.
Space. Space accent for space movies.
Do it. Be a space Australia. Okay.
Oh no.
Where's my space bear? Space. The latest brew. Space Fosters. Okay.
Fosters.
Thank
It's
you.
Australian for
Oh,
space.
Oh, by the way, Liz, I was sad, like, for the lightning round sound effects, I was hoping you were going to do a didgeridoo.
Oh, I can't even do that. Oh, that doesn't even do it
This is some
justice.
good radio here. Just a bunch of idiots making didgeridoo sound effects.
Didgeridoos are awesome, and I apologize for the accent. It's really fun, but horribly bad.
Accents are great. I'm sure plenty of non-Americans do American accents. I sure hope so.
Oh, they definitely
We
do.
deserve it.
Duh, we do them all the time, guys.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of American accents.
I'm doing one right now. You've never heard my actual voice.
Oh, it's terrible. Oh. Worse than when Monty Python does American accents.
So how long do you think Miles is going to be? Should we start talking about him?
I think,
Yeah.
Maybe he's just listening in on this to hear which one of us turns against him, and then who's going to be the last one to defend him, and then that's actually what the lightning round is about, is who's really loyal to the judge.
The meta lightning
This
round.
is super deep.
I would, metal
Wheels
round.
within wheels.
I just want to say I thought Miles was an excellent judge, and I totally respect his decision completely, and
Well, he's definitely the most handsome of the judges.
I mean that goes without saying.
Yeah.
The best space judge.
Space Judge?
He's returned.
I am the Space Judge, and I have returned. It was tough, as always. Tough decision. I thought everybody did a really spectacular job, but in terms of who will reach the finish line first, I think it would be Vanellope von Schweetz.
I knew it. Yeah.
Boomtown.
Like I said, everybody had really good arguments, but I just think Vanellope, like Colin said, is made for this. And the argument about being an excellent racer actually being in the code was very strong. I think that you're right, Colin, in saying that by the end of the Wreck-It Ralph film, she seems to have more mastered the glitching thing. And I definitely appreciate the fact that she was able to do all that in the space of a single day. Ghost Rider and Mad Max, excellent stuff. Arguments a little bit centered around being badass. So Speed Racer was a strong contender. Probably Speed Racer would have taken second place.
It's in his DNA coding, okay? It's in his blood, his family. Take that, Vanellope.
As is a need to reproduce, which Vanellope doesn't have. She's all racing.
I mean,
Speed
I've
Racer's
never
fine
seen
with their
him
family.
touch Trixie.
That's a fair point.
I
You're
think
not
he
gonna
just,
see.
brings her around so people don't think he fucks his car.
Also, I also really appreciated Colin's effective scrambling during the lightning round.
Yup.
You could hear him going ah, shit, my
Yep.
character's not suited for this at
Oh,
all.
it was pretty great. It was pretty great.
Now you see what I can do without another teammate to hold me back,
Wow.
Sick
Oh, now I just
burn.
made everyone mad at me.
I'm confident that Mad Max would have the best insurance company, and y'all would be buying insurance from me.
Well, you're going to need it because all of you are going to be piles of bone and ash in a few seconds here.
I'm innocent blood.
You have the highest premium, Dan. Since
I
you're
was
burning
actually
cars.
Would Ghost
I
Rider
was
be able
actually
to
thinking
harm a
about that.
child? That's a fair point.
I mean, Vanellope, I guess, she's, like you said, she's a little troublemaker, She could, Ghost Rider could probably find some sins with her going.
Sins in her past.
Speed Racer, though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's an
I don't know
angel.
if you're getting any sins out of Speed
I
Racer.
don't know that he's committed some fashion sins. I'm pretty sure.
Ugh.
But he dresses like a spaceman.
Space Elvis. There's
Hey,
nothing
what's wrong with
that.
space?
Nothing's wrong with space, so saith the Space Judge. And thanks everyone for listening to this episode of Smash Fiction. Next week, Indiana Jones versus Lara Croft.
Well, which one would you argue for Indy and Lara?
I could go either way on that one. I really like both characters a lot.
Yeah, so do I. That would probably be a heartbreaker, too.
That would be a good one to get out of the way, also.
Yeah.
I like Indy more as a character, but I don't think he's necessarily more competent.
Oh, God. I don't know.
I would lean very slightly more towards Lara Croft.
I would pick Lara
like
Croft, too, okay.
only the slightest bit.
Yeah. I would pick Lara Croft just because, I don't know, boobs?
Yeah.
Oops, are
Solid
nice.
reason.
But
Like
then
that.
Harrison was really hot back then.
Harrison Ford with boobs. Just think about that.
Ugh.
Oh, no, sexy.
There you go.
No.
Kit, do you have strong feelings about Lara Croft and Indiana Jones?
She just ran to the bathroom. My guess is no. She would probably be a good impartial judge for that. She's roughly equally sexually attracted to both. So.
Hey, who isn't?
Who am I sexually attracted to?
Well, they were asking if you would be neutral on the battle to judge Indiana Jones versus Lara Croft, and I said you're roughly sexually attracted to each.
but equally, yeah. So.
Yeah.
I would rather sleep with Lara Croft.
Smash Fiction is produced by Miles Schneiderman, with logo design by Colin Mulcairn.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod for our theme song, which is called Hitman. You can find his works at www.incompetech.com.
You can follow Smash Fiction on Facebook at facebook.com/smashfictionpodcast and on Twitter at smashficpodcast.
Find us on iTunes, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
Please tell me you're going to be doing an Australian accent for the whole thing.
No. Oh God, that would be horrendous.
Can you do your French accent at some point?
Hey, you Fosters. You Fosters. I want a beer.
Miles, you said you were looking for good material to put at the end of the show.
That's right.
Crack open your
I think
Fosters. Good beer. Yeah, Outback.
I think we've found it.
If we all end up having... Never mind, I'm just gonna let this go on.
Hey Liz, is this a knife?
That's not a knife. This is a knife. In Australia. With my beer. Foster's beer. It's good. Real good.
Oh man.
So
Yes, it
happy
is,
I'm
Liz.
recording
Yes, it
this.
is.
Shoutouts time. Thank you to a longtime listener, Rafael Medina, for regularly tweeting about our episodes. And thank you, Paladin Today, for your kind tweets. And on the Facebook side of things, thank you to Blue Perry and Beth Aronoff. And thank you, Blue and Owen Hobbs, for your commentaries on our episodes. We love to hear about what you loved hearing on the show. And finally, thank you, Tim Mulcairn, since you contact us on Twitter, the Book of Faces, and through text messaging. Thanks for being a bro, both literally and fan-ishly. Sorry there were so many of these to get through. We meant to start doing this in earlier episodes, but, time vortices.
We appreciate our fans.
Thank you,
I think
good
it's safe
people.
to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all right.
Wow. So saith the
Really,
winner.
no one now likes you at all.
You win one race and it goes straight to your neck. All of a sudden, you're too big for the fans.
Yeah, I know.
That's what
Time for
happens when you're
Vanilla.
too good.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're too good, too young.
Are you saying Ohio?
Ohio Mochi mochi.
Did you say mochi mochi instead of mochi mochi?
Mochi mochi.
I thought you said mochi mochi.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that either.
I know, yeah. I need that right now.
Mochi mochi onegaishimasu. Mochi mochi o kudasai onegaishimasu.
Okay, that might go at the end.
Mochi mochi.
Oh, God. So we're going to alienate all Australians and Japanese.
That's right. That's right.
Grab a bear. Grab me some Fosters.
Ouchie. Grab a beer.
I'm gonna open it with my knife. Just crack it right open. It's delicious. Yeah.
When in doubt, just say beer.